So we're going to start to work with the master view controller because this is where everything begins. So we have this array right here that we declare, so variable categories, and it's going to take category objects. So category is our model that we saw earlier. So it's declared with two properties, a name as a string and photos. So that's going to be an array of string objects. And we have this custom initializer right here. So every time you create a new category object, you're going to be prompted to create it with the name and an array. So that's going to be photos. So back to master view controller, we're going to go inside view did load, and we have these lines of codes that we use to customize the navbar. So it's just for styling purposes. Then we have this local array that we declare, so with 6 strings in order to provide names for the categories, as you may guess. So we're going to go next to the load categories function. So this is the most important part. We're going to use this function in order to create the new category objects, and we have this function with 2 parameters. So that's going to take an array and a completion handler that we're going to run after performing a task. Actually, the purpose of a completion handler is to perform a new task once one task is finished. So this first task will be to actually iterate through each item that we have in an array, and we're going to create a new category object for each item that we have in that array. So what we want is to create a new category right here. So we have our custom initializer. So that's going to be a name for the category. And for the photos, we're going to leave it blank for now. So that's going to be a second step. So we use the square brackets because we're going to leave it empty. So we're going to create our category with a new name. So that's going to be fashion, food, and so forth. And after that, we're going to append the new category to self categories, which is the array that we have declared right here. So we're going to do that. We're going to call this function in view did load, and we're going to pass array that we have right here as a parameter because we want to iterate through each string that we have in that array and then create a new category object from that array. And for the completion handler, so that's going to be another step, we're going to just leave it empty, or we could actually print the number of category object that we have in that a variable array, just to show you the counts of objects that we finally have after running this load categories function. So we're going to save and then run. You're going to be able to see the number of objects that we have in categories now. So that is 6. So now we have 6 categories. So we don't see anything for now because we still have to also update the data source of the collection view. You're not going to be able to see that without updating this part. So if you go to master view controller, the main storyboard, what we want is to create a label and also a UI image view for each of the categories. So that was the first step, to load the categories. What we're going to do next is also loading pictures for this part. So we're going to do that with that function. And we're also going to need to update the UI collection view data source in order to be able to have a visual for the collection view. So we're going to do that in the next couple of lessons.